Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump offered voters sharply different closing messages. Harris kept the focus on Trump, questioning his fitness for office, while in a major speech to the voters of Pennsylvania, Donald Trump went off on a 12-minute tangent about former pro golfer Arnold Palmer, which included this bizarre anecdote about the athlete's penis.
But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. When he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Talk about a Cocktober surprise. Sorry, I mean October surprise.
Unbelievable indeed. This to end a week where Mr. Trump called for the military to handle his domestic political opponents, said that infamous Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein got, quote, schlonged, called Kamala Harris a, quote, shit vice president, canceled scheduled interviews, continued to push lies about the 2020 election, including the notion that January 6th was a government-staged riot, also called January 6th, quote, a day of love, compared the January 6th defendants to Japanese Americans in internment camps during World War II, and at one rally decided to, instead of speak, dance and sway on stage for 39 minutes.
I never had Donald Trump reminiscing about Arnold Palmer's penis on my 2024 bingo card, but hey, here we are. And as Trump obsessively talked about Palmer's penis, I'm gonna safely assume that there were children in the crowd because, you know, MAGA indoctrination is a thing. Stephen Miller, or as I like to call him, Nosferatu Nazi, was working overtime trying to spin this as Trump's moving and touching tribute to Arnold Palmer. Feel free to raise your hand if you also are ready for this election to be over. But I guess we shouldn't be surprised by Trump's commentary when you remember how obsessed Trump is with defending the size of his tiny hands. And unsurprisingly, Arnold Palmer's family found Trump's crude comments disgusting and appalling. According to Palmer's daughter, my dad and I were at home in Latrobe. He died in September 2016, so this was before the election. The television was on, Trump was talking, and my dad made a sound of disgust like uck or ugh. Like he couldn't believe the arrogance and crudeness of this man who was the nominee of a political party that he believed in. Then he said, he's not as smart as we thought he was, and walked out of the room. What would my dad think of Donald Trump today? I think he'd cringe. And according to Maggie Haberman, this is not the first time that Donald Trump has obsessed over Arnold Palmer's genitalia. In Haberman's biographical book Confidence Man, she talked about a time in late 2020 when Trump recounted for Oval Office guests the time that he had seen hometown golf legend Arnold Palmer disrobed at the Latrobe Country Club and the size of his genitalia. Like many things with Trump, it's rooted in projection and insecurity. And thanks to Stormy Daniels, we now know all about Trump's lackluster anatomy.
If you had to... The lineup you mentioned, and picking it out of a lineup, which of these mushrooms, orange mushrooms, would most represent the commander-in-chief of the United States military? Oh, is this the one?
It's a nubbin! A what? It's a nubbin!
Look, I know myself and others have covered Trump's unhinged rallies in the past, but holy shit, rambling on about a dead man's penis is a new one. But then again, Republicans do love to talk about and inspect other people's genitalia, which is creepy and weird. And at the same time that Trump was on some fantasy penis tangent, Kamala Harris was calling him out for his nonsense at her much larger rally.
When he does answer a question or speak at a rally, have you noticed he tends to go off script and ramble? And generally, for the life of him, cannot finish a thought. And he has called it the weave. But I think we here will call it nonsense.
Now that we've gotten a bit of a break from Trump, let's see what he's talking about.
Said, Arnold, I really want to name one after you. Would you like it? He said, I'd love it. I'd be honored to have that. And we flew down for the opening ceremony to cut a ribbon for the Arnold Palmer Villa. And it's, to this day, people just love it. And I'll never forget the day. He was having a little hard time. He was a little older. He hit the 80s. He hit the 80s. But he was still, when he got up there, he had that magic like nobody had.
Oh, God, he's still talking about Arnold Palmer?
Butler, Pennsylvania, we had 101,000 people. It was unbelievable.
I guess if anything, we should be glad that he finally moved on from talking about how big Arnold Palmer is to how big his rally was in Butler, Pennsylvania. Spoiler alert, it wasn't very big. According to Secret Service, there were only 21,000 people in attendance, not 101,000 people. Awkward! Donald Trump's rally was so boring that Fox News cut away from it and switched to Kamala Harris's rally, which was a much bigger rally.
Oh, but you're talking about a great man. I said, Arnold.
Latrobe, Pennsylvania is an area that Donald Trump won in 2016. He is there holding one of his signature rallies. Kamala Harris, the vice president, has to say.
But before we dive into this more, I want to quickly thank today's sponsor, Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. And all you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then, Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into the fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. I love how Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts, so you can keep up your energy and stave off cravings. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/Gabe to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/Gabe for 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
Do you believe they have a phone app for the criminal cartels to call up? Hello, this is Jose Rodriguez. I'd like to know, where do I dispose of my illegal migrants?
Oh my God, I can't believe I have to say this, but they do not have a phone app.
Because we want ultimately one-day voting. We want paper ballots. We want voter ID, and we want proof of citizenship. And we're finished. And we'll have quick, fair elections that will cost 8% of the cost of these very beautiful, fancy machines that go up to Mars and around and down and all over the place. You ever see this? Where the machines, we spend all this money on machines, and then they announce, we expect to have the results like 7 days after the election. If you had paper ballots, you get them at 10 o'clock. France went to paper because what we did didn't work. The mail-in ballots didn't work. France had them, and you know what didn't work? There was a lot of theft, a lot of things going on. They went to paper ballots, same-day voting. 38 million votes, everything was done by 10 o'clock in the evening. No people complaining, nothing.
Wait, hold up. Trump is now attacking mail-in ballots? He literally just told Arizona to cast their mail-in ballots.
Early voting by mail and in person opened in Arizona earlier this week, so if you have a ballot, return it immediately. And if not, go vote, get your you-know-what app and vote.
This is just like when MAGA was outside of election offices in Arizona and Pennsylvania screaming to stop the count, but also count the vote.
The United States is now an occupied country, but November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day.
What?
And she did a test, and she was so happy because it came back 1,014. Remember? 1,014. And that was it.
Huh?
Kamala Harris, that you've had enough, that you just can't take it anymore. We can't stand you. You're a shit vice president. The worst. You're the worst vice president. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here, Kamala.
How nice of Donald Trump, but didn't his future ex-wife Alina Habba recently tell everyone that Trump will get us back to being polite?
And I think America forgets that these are human beings. We've forgotten how to be polite. We've forgotten how to be respectful of different opinions. And I know that President Trump will get us back there. He really will.
If you had any doubts about Trump's failing mental state, get ready for this.
And also, I tell you, if you're a football fan, these guys are good. I guess they're going to the game a little bit later or something. Are you going to the game? Are you going, or are you going to watch it on television? Former NFL stars, Antonio Brown. Oh, he was a good player. He was a good player.
Antonio Brown is a former NFL player who was arrested in Florida on a warrant for outstanding child support payments, filed for bankruptcy, and settled a lawsuit with a former trainer who accused him of sexual assault, just to name a few.
So in conclusion, and thank you for being here, everybody. This is beautiful. We'll get you out real fast. We're going to get you to go watch that game tonight, right?
Trump's brain is so cooked that he thought that the Steelers were playing after his rally on Saturday night. That game was on Sunday. But not to worry, Trump finally ended his rally, and he did it like he normally does, dancing to the YMCA as he jerks off a ghost in the air. Sorry, what's that? I've just been informed, so naturally I have to share with you. Donald Trump was actually trying to jerk off the penis of Arnold Palmer's ghost.
Somebody on his staff should explain the YMCA song to him too, just so they know. So, we'll see.
Well, that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to check out the audio version of What Was That, perfect for when you're on the go or just relaxing. Catch every episode wherever you listen to podcasts. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?